Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. Story time. Yesterday I was walking in my local Sephora, and you know every story that starts with I was walking in my local Sephora. That means I was totally shopping. Anyways, I was looking around in Sephora and I found these new Nars eyeshadows, and I knew that they were going to be releasing because I'd seen them on blogs and other people's videos, and after watching so many reviews I had decided that I may pick up a couple meaning like 2 or 3. Well, I saw the entire range at Sephora and I started swatching with my little swatchy fingers, and before I knew it, I had all 12 of the colors swatched up and down my arm and I fell in love. Basically, these eyeshadows are the best thing since sliced bread. I love them. In this video, I am going to be showing you guys all of the shades that I bought, which is all of the shades that they offer because I bought all 12. And in this video, I will also be talking about the comparison between like shadows on the market, meaning other shadows that are out there and that are available that are of a similar formula. So for those of you guys who don't even know what I'm talking about yet, these are the new Nars Dual-Intensity Eyeshadows. They come in packaging like this, classic, kind of like that matte black Nars packaging, a nice little small square, which is nice. The closure is magnetic, and when you open it up, you do have a little mirror here, and then this is the eyeshadow. As you can see, this particular shade is extremely metallic, and all of the eyeshadows in this range do have like a metallic formulation to them. All of them at the very least have some shimmer in it. So none of the shades in this range are matte. You guys are familiar with products that are already out in the makeup world. Estee Lauder basically started this whole kind of like eyeshadow revolution, or formula revolution, I guess we'll say. They came out with their powder gelée. They had a highlighter first, and then they started coming out with eyeshadows and blushes and some other products in the powder gelée formula, which is meant to be part water and part powder. So when you apply it, it's supposed to give you almost like that super foiled finish. And then after Estee Lauder came out with them, then MAC released some, and MAC calls them their extra dimension eyeshadows. They also have skin finishes, which are for the face. They have blushes. So this formula is not a new formula to the makeup world. However, this kind of gel, powder, water eyeshadow is new to Nars. So Nars just came out with 12 dual intensity eyeshadows is what they call them. The reason they call them dual intensity is because you can use them dry or wet. If you wet your brush and use the eyeshadow slightly damp, it will give you an extremely metallic, like liquid metal type finish. Now these eyeshadows are 1.5 grams and they are $29 a pop, which is so expensive. I can't even like fathom the fact that I bought 12 eyeshadows at $29 a piece. That's insane to me, but they were so beautiful, and the shades that Nars released are so, all of them are extremely wearable. They're all very beautiful, everyday colors, smoky colors. You don't have, I mean, you do have some pops of color, but nothing that's unwearable or too bright. So that's the only reason that I got them all, is because I actually genuinely loved the entire color range. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys all 12 of the colors, as well as wet and dry swatches. Now I know some people show you swatches and they don't show them to you wet and dry, but since these eyeshadows are meant to be used both dry and wet, I will definitely show you both swatches. And I think that'll just help you guys out deciding which colors you want to buy, because of course dry, most of them are going to be slightly more sheer than if you apply them wet. And that is the point of the eyeshadow. You are supposed to be able to get a more sheer kind of translucent look when you apply them dry, and then get fully opaque, really like liquid metal look when you apply them wet. I'm just going to jump into all 12 of the eyeshadows. I will show you guys what they look like in the pan, dry and wet swatches. And I apologize if I butcher some of these names. All of these names are, I don't know what they're named after, cities maybe or something, but some of them are really hard to pronounce. So let's jump right into it. So this first shade is called Callisto, and this is a very metallic silvered purpley lilac. There is a swatch of Callisto. You can see the top swatch is of it dry and the bottom swatch is when you wet it, and you can see it looks a million times better when you wet it. It literally looks like silver foil. It is so gorgeous. This next shade is Phoebe, which is kind of like a shimmering grape purple. So there's Phoebe swatched. The top swatch is dry and the bottom swatch is wet. Once again, infinitely better when it is wet. It is just a gorgeous, incredibly metallic grape purple. This next shade is Subra, and this is a very dark purple, almost like a blackberry type color. It's a very dark blackened purple. So there is Subra swatched. You can see it is an incredibly dark purple. It is the darkest purple in this entire collection, and it is so beautiful and metallic. This next shade is Sycorax or Sycorax. This is the darkest color in the entire collection. It is an incredibly dark but still slightly metallic black shade. And there is Sycorax or Sycorax swatched. You can see the top swatch is dry, the bottom swatch is wet. In this case, the top swatch, when it is dry, looks a lot more metallic than when it's wet. You can see when it gets wet, it kind of dries down to almost like a satin type finish, but that black really pops. Whereas in the top swatch, it almost looks like a dark metallic gray. This next shade is Andromeda, which is the lightest color in the collection. This is a very light, kind of like a cream off-white. Here is Andromeda swatched. I personally do like it wet. I think the shimmer and the metallicness definitely pops a lot more when it's wet. But when it's dry, I could see it being a really gorgeous but still subtle highlight, whether it be on the eyes or on the face. This next shade is Himalia, which is one of the more neutral shades in the collection. This is a beautiful mid-tone bronzy copper. So here is Himalia, dry and wet. I love it actually both ways. This is one of the few shades that I think genuinely looks beautiful dry and wet. This is probably my favorite shade so far. It's incredibly wearable but still very versatile and amazing quality. This next shade is Dione, which honestly I would say is just a pewter. It's like a dark gray pewter color. So there is a swatch of Dione. Another absolutely stunning one. When you wet it, it looks completely metallic, just like liquid metal. It is so stunning. This next shade is called Cassiopeia, which is the only duochrome that Nars released in all 12 of these shades. It is a gorgeous kind of champagne to pink, amazing, beautiful duochrome shadow. So there is a swatch of Cassiopeia, and this is another shade that I honestly don't think you could go wrong with wet or dry. If you apply this over a darker base, such as a dark brown or a black base, you will get the most beautiful pinky purple, incredible duochrome shadow. It's beautiful. It's so versatile. When you apply it wet, it just pops. When you apply it dry, it still looks incredible. This is one of my favorites from the collection. This next shade is Europa, which is a light shimmering champagne. There is Europa swatched. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but when you wet it, that peachy pink shimmering champagne really pops from this shade. It is so beautiful. Another really wearable one. This next shade is Lysithea, which is a darker gunmetal gray. Here is Lysithea swatched. Another absolutely perfect shade. Gorgeous when you wet it, even gorgeous when it's dry. It is absolutely stunning liquid metal. This next shade is Desdemona, which is a dark mauve cranberry. So here is Desdemona swatched. Another beautiful one. I feel like a completely broken record as I'm swatching these, but they all really are gorgeous. This one is no exception. It's a beautiful cranberry mauve. This next one is called Giove, which is a dark smoky navy. And here is Giove swatched. Now this is another shade that looks a lot more metallic when you apply it dry as opposed to wet. When you apply it wet, that deep navy base definitely comes through, but some of that shimmer is kind of hidden. So if you want it really metallic, you would have to apply this one dry. So those are all of the swatches of all 12 of the shades of the Nars Dual-Intensity Eyeshadow Collection. Now I'll be talking a little bit about the formula. As you guys could see when you look at the swatches, the formula really does come through with their promise of having dual intensity. You can get a sheer wash of color if you apply it dry, and then you can get a really intense pigmented color when you apply it wet. I apologize if there's a lot of outside background noise right now. They're doing like construction and stuff outside my window, and trucks keep driving by, which is really annoying when I'm trying to film. But anyways, Nars definitely follows through on their dual intensity claim. Now I will say something with these eyeshadows, especially the ones that are very metallic and shimmery. Those definitely will have fallout if you do not apply them wet. If you decide to apply them dry, you will definitely get fallout with them. For example, the shade that I'm wearing on my eyes right now is the first shade that I showed you, Callisto. It's the gorgeous shimmering lilac-y silver. And I actually just ended up applying this with my finger, and I still did get fallout. A lot of times when I apply shadows with my fingers, you kind of minimize the amount of fallout you'll get as opposed to using a brush, but I did get some fallout with this shade applying it onto my eyes. Speaking of using your finger, I will say the best application tool if you are going to apply these dry is absolutely your finger. I have found any brush, I've used these with many brushes, any brush will give you tons of fallout. You won't get as rich of a color, and you'll have to build it up a lot to get the intensity that you may be wanting. However, if you guys are going to apply these wet, which is the way they look the best in my opinion, I would definitely just use a brush, maybe like a synthetic flat stiff brush. And just a quick recommendation on a brush, this is the brush that I had been using to swatch all of the swatches that I did wet. This is the Sigma SS 252. I don't know what the new numbering is, this is the old numbering, but it's a very flat paddle-like brush, and the bristles, while they're not super stiff, they don't bend that much, and it's very flat, so you get a lot of product and you'll get a nice application. Now, as for the comparison of these to like shadows on the market, the only other two brands that I know of that have shadows that are similar to these that I have tried at least are Estee Lauder and MAC. Estee Lauder has their Powder Gelée eyeshadow formula, and MAC has their Extra Dimension eyeshadows. Now, both of those are very, very similar in texture, in quality, in pretty much everything. And both of those formulations are incredibly similar to this Nars formulation. As far as exact ingredients and stuff like that goes, I don't know because I didn't actually do an ingredient comparison. I find the formula is very similar and the way they go on is very similar. The metallic sparkle and kind of the foil finish when you apply them wet is very similar across all of the brands. The only differences are that these Nars eyeshadows are permanent part of their collection. MAC only has their extra dimension eyeshadows in limited edition collections that release, you know, every year or twice a year or so often. And Estee Lauder, I believe, does have some eyeshadows in the powder gelée finish in their permanent collection as well. And I do believe the price for quantity ratio on both the Estee Lauder and MAC shadows is much better. MAC is definitely going to be the cheapest out of all three of the brands. I believe MAC's retail for around $20 and I believe Estee Lauder's retail for around $23 or so. And these are at a whopping $29. However, just based on the fact that I purchased all 12, you can see that I love these. I'm going to be absolutely obsessed with these all through the summer, probably all through the fall and winter, probably all the way until next summer, until something else just catches me the way these have. I am still waiting for a drugstore brand to catch on to this powder, gel, water infused eyeshadow trend and release something. I know Milani is coming out with something similar to these and I'm really excited because they are coming out with a huge expansive range. I believe they have 30 colors in that collection coming out, I believe either this month or next month. But as for these Nars Dual-Intensity eyeshadows, if I could just recommend a couple shades to you guys, first and foremost, I would recommend Callisto. It is, like I said, the one I'm wearing right now. It's the beautiful silvered lilac color, absolutely stunning. If you guys are looking for a darker eyeshadow in this collection, maybe to do a smoky eye or something, my favorite dark shadow is Subra, which is the dark kind of blackberry blackened purple color. A couple of staple neutrals that I would say you need are Himalia, which is the stunning bronzy copper, and Dione, which is the gorgeous pewter color. And I'm just gonna put those two side by side so you can see the differences. While they don't look too different in the pan, they definitely come across very differently when you swatch them. Dione is a little bit darker and Himalia is a little bit more goldy copper. And then if you're just looking for something incredibly unique, grab Cassiopeia. This is the only duochrome in the collection. It is so unique. It's very, very versatile because you can apply it on its own or you can apply it over a dark base to get two completely different looks. I really do hope in the future that Nars expands this line a little bit and releases a rose gold color because I think that is something that was missing in this collection that is so popular right now, is a rose gold. I'm actually really surprised they didn't release one. So a rose gold would be amazing, and if they release more duochrome shadows, because while Cassiopeia is amazing, I would love some more, like maybe like a green or a blue or a purple duochrome. So Nars, you need to get on that. Alrighty guys, that is it for this video. I did want to make a quick announcement for you guys, and that is that I am going to be having regular video uploads, which I know has been requested so much. I'm going to now be uploading videos every Monday and Thursday. So you can check back on my channel every Monday and Thursday and there will be a new video up for you guys, whether it be a review, a tutorial, a haul, a tag, something will be up related to beauty on my channel. So I hope you guys are excited about that regular video schedule and I will catch you guys on Monday. Bye.